Hi boys and girls, welcome back. So what we're going to do today, we just watched that video on colors and I've got that song stuck in my head now, but at the end of our video they talked about warm colors and we're going to be using warm and cool colors for this next project. We're going to start with warm colors today. The warm colors, if you remember from our video, are red, yellow, and orange, and they're the colors that make us think of like warm things like fire and the sun and lava and things like that. What we're going to be doing is we are going to be making a cityscape. A cityscape is a picture of a big city. We live in a city. The city that we live in is Warrensburg, but we want to think of big cities like Kansas City or Houston or Los Angeles or New York. Big cities that have really big buildings like skyscrapers. Maybe you've been to a city like that. Maybe you can remember what that looks like, or maybe you've seen a city like that on TV, but they usually have great big buildings that are so tall it looks like they touch the sky. So what we're going to be doing is we are going to be drawing a cityscape with our warm colors. So let me show you how we're going to do that today. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is we are going to be making a city today, and we're going to be using our warm color crayons. So what we need to do first is, if you haven't already gotten your crayons, then we need to go through, if we've got a lot of choices to choose from, and we need to find which one is red, yellow, and orange. And I'm looking at this one and it says dandelion. It looks like yellow, but that's not the one I want. I want the one that just says yellow. So you'll need to check your crayon and make sure you've got the right one. So I've got yellow and I need red. I think that's red. Yep, there's red, and then orange. So where's my orange? Is it this one right here? Yep. So make sure you've got your 3 crayons, red, yellow, and orange. And then I would just say, if you have other crayons, we just need to put those away because we don't want to accidentally grab the wrong ones. We don't want any cool colors in there today because you will be graded on this, making sure that you've got the right colors. So I've got red, yellow, and orange that I'm going to choose from. The first thing that I need to do on my paper is I need to write my name and my class code, and you'll write your class code with a circle around it. Then you're gonna flip your paper over, and on the front side, we're gonna start to build our city. We are gonna start first with a road going all the way down at the bottom of our paper, and you can pick any color that you want out of your red, yellow, and orange today. So I'm gonna start, let's start with a red road, and I'm gonna make this all the way down at the bottom of my paper, a line that goes all the way across. And if you want those little marks that go down the road, you can make that. I'm gonna make them yellow because they are yellow. You can make them any color you want though. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna build our city, and we need really tall buildings that go almost to the very top of our paper up here. So I'm gonna pick any color I want. I'm gonna make rectangle buildings that are really tall and go at different heights to my page. So I'm going to start my first one. My next one, I don't want it to be exactly like this one because they're all kind of a little bit different or staggered. So I'm going to have one, now a yellow one. I'm going to make this one, and I'm going to make this one really tall. It goes almost to the top of my page up there. And then I'll make an orange one this time. And this time I'm gonna make it a little shorter, but not too short. In big cities, they have really tall buildings. I'll make it a little wider than the other ones. And then let's go back to red. Now I'll have one like this. And they're right next to each other. There's not a lot of space in between the buildings. When you look at them from a distance, it looks like they're all right next to each other. And then I'm gonna do another orange one. This one will make it almost the same as this one, maybe like the Twin Towers, how they're almost the same. And then maybe I have a little space here, so I have to fill that up. So maybe I'll make a yellow one going off the page, okay? So I built my city, but now we've got to add all that cool stuff to our city. So I'm gonna show you some different tricks or techniques today that you can do. So if I were to make a building like this, maybe I could do something called a cake top tower, which is something really cool. It's not a place that sells cake. It just is called that because it kind of looks like a cake that's towered. So you've got another little rectangle up here, and then another one up here, and I'll make a little antenna up at the top. So there's my cake top tower. Maybe I'll make one with a dome, okay, which is a round top or a round roof to it. and maybe I'll make it a clock tower dome. I'll put a clock on it. Okay, I'm not gonna put every single number, I'll just make those little marks so that we know that it's a clock, okay? And then, what else could I do? I need to add doors on here. So all buildings have doors. Now, because these are buildings and they're skyscrapers, they're really tall and they're really far away from our eyes, we're gonna make our doors teeny tiny, because if we made them too big, it would be like a door for a giant, and that would be silly. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make little small doors at the bottom. This is just a rectangle door down here. And then I'm gonna make those spinny doors. Have you ever gotten in one of those? One time I got stuck in those. That wasn't very fun, but they can be kind of fun because they spin around. So there's a spinny one. And then let's do one that has, maybe you've seen this over the top where it looks like a, kind of like a little cover over the top of it. I like those are pretty. They've got little lines that go down the side, something kind of like this. And then underneath, let's do double doors where it's got 2 doors, okay? And then maybe just another regular door right here. And then here, I'm gonna actually put a staircase, and it kind of looks like my cake top tower. The way the staircase looks is it's got a big stair at the bottom, and then another stair that goes up, and another stair that goes up. So you have to walk up the stairs to get to the door. We'll make it a curved door up at the top. Okay, like that. And then over here, my little door that's going off the side. Okay, so I've got doors on all my buildings. Now I'm gonna add something called trim on one of my buildings. Trim is just decoration that's kind of carved into the building, and maybe there's places around here where you've seen trim in the building that just makes it look nice. It's actually carved into the building, so maybe look around and see if you see any trim on any of the buildings around here. Then the hardest part, this is the part where it's gonna wear you out. It's gonna take up a lot of time, and you might have to like stop and stretch your hands a little bit because your hands are gonna get worn out, are the windows. Oh my gosh, in a big city, there are so many windows. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make lots of little windows, and this takes a long time. And if you're not paying attention, you'll start to make windows and they're going to become off. So let me show you an example. Let's say I'm turned over and I'm talking to a neighbor, and oh my gosh, what did I do? I've just got windows everywhere. They're like falling all over the place. So if you accidentally make a mistake with your windows, first of all, you can avoid that by paying attention. But also, if you make a mistake, we got to figure out how to fix it. So maybe I'll just add some windows in between and kind of make it look a little better. Still not perfect, but it looks a little better. So just think of ways to fix it if you make a mistake, because we are not gonna draw this with a pencil first. We are just gonna use our crowns today right onto our paper. Okay, so lots of little windows here. And then over here, I'm gonna show you another way that you could do windows. Another way, this is kind of the lazy way, and I don't want you to do this on all your buildings, but if you wanna do 1 or 2 like this, I'm okay with this. Have you ever seen buildings that have all glass windows? They're pretty cool. Not all of them are like that, but they go like this. They're almost like a big tic-tac-toe board that goes all the way down. And if you want to do a couple windows like this, I'm okay with that. But again, it's kind of the lazy way. We don't want to do them all like that. They're not all like that, but some of them are. So there's another way. And then over here, I'm going to go back to my little teeny tiny windows, but instead I'm going to make them longer. I'm going to make them long rectangles that go down. And I'm going to pay attention. I want to put the same number of windows here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, every time I have to do 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm just going to keep doing that, making extra long windows all the way down, and I could fill that up. Over here, maybe I'll do the square ones again. It takes a lot of work, but man, does it look cool when we are finished all these windows in our great big city. I'm gonna draw these across, okay? And then some down here and fill up that space. And maybe I'll color in a few things like in my trim, but I don't want to color in too much. And I didn't tell you this at the beginning, but what we are going to do is we are actually making something called a crown resist. And that's when you take crayon, which is really waxy, almost kind of like a candle, and you draw with your crayon, and then over the top of it, we are gonna paint it with the watercolor paint. And this really cool thing happens where the wax kind of pops out of the paint, and it looks so awesome when we're finished. So we don't wanna color in too many things over here. And also, notice that in this town, there are no cars, there's no trees, there's no birds, and there's no people. We are making a town called a ghost town, and that kind of sounds like there should be ghosts in it. It's not a scary town, it's just a town that is empty, that's been abandoned. So we're not gonna have anything else in our picture except for our road and our really cool buildings over here, but that's all we're gonna do. We do need to finish this today. I didn't finish it, so I'm gonna keep working on it, and while I'm working on mine, you guys can go ahead and get started with your warm cityscape, okay? Great job.